Chicago is once again at the center of a heated national debate: crime, safety, and the question of federal intervention. The story unfolding in America's third-largest city is raising tough questions about leadership, public safety, and how far local and federal authorities should go in times of crisis. This past holiday weekend was one of the most violent in recent memory. At least 7 people were shot and killed, and dozens more were wounded across the city. For many Chicago families, these tragedies are not just numbers, they are heartbreaking realities that shake neighborhoods and test the limits of community resilience. Against this backdrop, President Donald Trump offered to send federal troops to Chicago to help bring crime under control. His message was simple: with violence rising, the federal government is prepared to step in and assist. But Mayor Brandon Johnson quickly pushed back. Speaking passionately to his supporters, he declared, "No federal troops in the city of Chicago. No militarized force in the city of Chicago. We have to defend our democracy." His position was clear: he sees federal intervention as an overreach, a threat to local control, and a step too far in the wrong direction. The mayor signed an executive order that directs the city to pursue every legal and legislative option available to challenge any federal effort he believes would violate the rights of Chicago and its residents. For Johnson, this fight is not only about crime, but about protecting the city's autonomy. But critics, including local community voices, argue that the mayor's stance does not reflect the urgent needs of the people living in the city. They point to rising crime, a string of violent weekends, and businesses struggling to keep their doors open. They ask a tough question: if not federal help, then what? Business owners across Chicago describe the reality on the ground. Some say they have had to hire private security to protect their storefronts. Others share that they warn customers to be careful when walking home. Even simple daily routines, like taking a dog for a walk, have become risky in some neighborhoods. They feel frustrated when city leaders claim Chicago is safe, because their lived experience tells a very different story. For these residents and business owners, safety is not about political battles or approval ratings, it's about everyday life. It's about being able to open a shop without fear of being robbed. It's about children playing outside without parents worrying about gunfire. It's about communities feeling secure enough to thrive. Meanwhile, political observers note that Mayor Johnson's approval rating has dropped significantly since he took office. Some critics suggest that rejecting Trump's offer is less about policy and more about politics. They argue that by opposing the former president, Johnson may believe he is reinforcing his political standing with his base, even if many residents feel differently. There are also broader concerns about the city's finances. Reports highlight that resources have been stretched thin, particularly with the ongoing challenges of managing the migrant crisis. Johnson has faced criticism for how funds have been allocated, and some say his refusal of federal assistance may be a way to divert attention from these issues. But at the core of the debate remains one simple reality: many Chicago residents do not feel safe. They want solutions. They want action. And many say they don't care whether that comes from local leadership, federal intervention, or a combination of both, they just want results. The question now is whether Mayor Johnson will stand firm on his refusal or reconsider if the pressure from residents and community leaders continues to mount. Supporters of federal involvement point to Washington, D.C., where increased federal presence has, according to reports, helped stabilize certain crime trends. They wonder if similar efforts could make a difference in Chicago. On the other hand, supporters of the mayor argue that bringing in federal troops could escalate tensions, create new problems, and undermine local democracy. They believe the focus should instead be on long-term community investment, job opportunities, education, and local policing strategies that are tailored to Chicago's unique needs. This debate highlights a larger national issue: how should cities balance public safety with civil liberties? How much authority should local governments yield to the federal government in times of crisis? And at what point does inaction become more dangerous than intervention? As this standoff continues, one thing is certain: the people of Chicago are watching closely. They are living this reality every single day. For them, the debate is not about political points or ideological battles. It is about walking safely to the store, opening businesses without fear, and raising children in neighborhoods free from violence. At Global Insight News, we will continue following this story closely as it develops. Decisions made in the coming weeks could reshape Chicago's future and potentially set the tone for how other American cities handle similar crises. But now we turn it over to you. Do you believe federal troops should be deployed to Chicago to help fight crime, or should the city handle this challenge on its own? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. We want to hear your perspective. And if you found this coverage informative, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Global Insight News, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our latest updates. Thank you for watching.